Yo, I'm Brendan, and today I've got a hot take for you. I love the fact that we can meet together and proverbially sharpen the axe. That's part of the reason why I hold an axe at the beginning of every video, is I want us to together sharpen our skills, get better at finding things that help us in terms of our finances and our investing. Maybe we can help each other learn new things. We just want to maximize together. It's like that Abe Lincoln quote. He said, if you give me 4 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend the first 3 sharpening the axe. Let's sharpen it together. But if we notice, honest Abe didn't say he would spend all 4 hours sharpening the axe and then never chop the tree down. Sometimes we do that in life whenever we overanalyze stuff. We think about it and we research it and we do so much processing before we even begin that maybe we never begin. I think this happens a lot with like a workout routine or a diet or starting a new business, any of these big, scary, ephemeral kinds of things that are imprecise in terms of what you're supposed to do step by step. We want to lay all that out step by step because we want to have that assurance that what we're doing is going to give us the outcome that we want. And that becomes a problem with our money whenever we do a bunch of research and we think about stuff and we know the right answers, but we don't actually do the thing. We don't take action. And one of the ways that we do that is by taking forever to pick an investing brokerage. I'm here to tell you right now today, despite all the videos I make talking about investing brokerages, which one has the best features, which one is good for this kind of investor, that kind of investor, in the end, the brokerage doesn't matter. Whether you invest with Acorns or M1 Finance or Robinhood or Webull or Fennel or Interactive Brokers or whoever, it doesn't matter. But I think we all struggle with these kinds of frivolous decisions. For example, I'm going to take off my shoe and show you how I did this with shoes recently. I'm going on this trip in a month where I'm going to go to Germany and Belgium and drive on these 2 famous racetracks. And what a lot of guys do will buy a specific shoe that's made for driving. It could be a racing shoe in that the fabric that's actually built into the shoe has a fire retardant nature, and so maybe your foot won't burn as bad as the rest of you if you have that kind of shoe on. A lot of times they've got a thin sole so you can feel what's happening with the pedals, you can be more in control. And I was one of those guys. I wanted to have the right kind of driving shoes, and so I went shopping for driving shoes. These are not driving shoes. Because what I found out is driving shoes are really expensive. Like minimum $160 a pair, sometimes upwards of $300 a pair. And so what this is a cheap $40 minimalist trail running shoe that I found on Amazon that's intention is to be a minimalist shoe. And so the sole is super floppy and loose and everything's lightweight and thin. And what that's going to give me is the same kind of driving feel as an expensive racing shoe, albeit with no fire retardant protection whatsoever. So hopefully the car doesn't catch on fire because my shoes aren't going to help me there. But in the end, will a shoe significantly increase the quality of my experience on this trip? No. Will it increase my driving skill and make me better at driving on the track? Safer, faster, more aware of the people around me, able to handle the weather conditions any better? No, I already had shoes. I didn't have to buy new shoes. And yet I fell for that trap of like, I'm getting ready to do the thing. And so I want to make some research decisions ahead of time and decide how can I maximize myself before I even do the thing. And so as ridiculous as that might sound to you, that's the reality. I'm wearing the shoes to break them in and get them ready to go because I'm leaving in 26 days and I want to be ready and I want my shoes to be ready. Logically, when you zoom out, we don't always make the best decisions. What would make me the most capable person when I get there to these racetracks? What would help me the most? Probably being well rested, well hydrated, not sick. I would probably benefit a lot more from being able to pay attention while I'm there and maybe taking notes. If I'm learning something new, how will I ingest this information quickly that day and how can I make sure and pay attention to that well? I've made no real effort towards doing those other things that actually would help me more than some shoes, but the shoes are the low-hanging fruit. It's the easy decision you have to make before you go, and these are the kind of distracting decisions we make whenever we're getting ready to invest too. We tell ourselves something like, oh yeah, I want to invest, but then instead of spending our time and energy figuring out what's the most tax-efficient way to invest, figuring out how to make more money so that we have more money to invest, learning the discipline of living on less money so that we have a bigger margin so we can invest more, accumulate money faster, and then have more options in life. We don't do any of that hard work. We do the easy work, and we fret about our investing service. Oh no, they've got a monthly fee. Oh boy, they will waive the fee if we deposit $250 a month. Oh no, those people over there have rolled out this new feature and that's better than mine. Maybe I should switch. And we sit and we wring our hands and we worry if we're missing out because we're not using that other investing service over there. It doesn't really matter. The 2 biggest things when it comes to our investing is how much are you investing and how early are you investing it. If you could go back in time 30 years and invest $1 million in a single day, you'd be set. You'd be more than set. A lot of money, a lot of time. The reality is if you want to have a lot of money, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to retire early, if you want all of those good things, the only way to get there is to make as much money as possible and keep it. After you've kept it, the logical thing is to make it grow also. Those are our core deliverables. That's the the key productivity indicator. Those are the things that we need to pay attention to, not sweating over a particular investing service. Now, all that to be said, if there is somehow an investing service that helps you to invest more and better and more often, and it streamlines things for you and it makes your life easier so that you can accomplish one of those two core indicators of investing as early as possible and as much as possible, then sure, why not use it? But that's not where we need to place our emphasis and focus. We've got to place our focus on those key performance indicators, making money and investing as early as possible. I think talking about the products and services that are out there are really interesting, and so people who do reviews for a living, often like I do, we geek out about this stuff. Marquez Brownlee geeks out about talking about a laptop and whether or not it's a better purchase than the previous generation laptop. Doug DeMuro and Matt Farah and these other people do car reviews, and they talk about something like a new Aston Martin and whether it's worth $185,000 or not. That kind of thing is just interesting. It's fascinating to compare and contrast and try and pick the most optimized decision. But in the end, the computer or the car or the investing service totally depends on you. What is it that you need to accomplish personally in your life to maximize your own happiness and enjoyment and peace of mind? If that means a new computer and a new Aston Martin and changing your brokerage service, by all means do that. But I think for most of us, that frankly is a distraction. The best way I've found to figure out what to spend my time on is the Pareto principle. It's a theory that states that 80% of our results come from 20% of our inputs. And so in your life, there's probably 20% of things that make you the most happy and fulfilled, that really give you the most meaning. So the most wise decision we can make then is to double down on those same 20% of things that make us happier and do more of that stuff. Buying frivolous stuff on Amazon, eating junk food, procrastinating, those are the things we end up doing instead of the 20% of things that make us happier. And then now we've lost that time and energy and money. And so it's a waste to not take advantage of it. In my opinion, likewise, when it comes to investing services or credit cards or whatever kind of perfect optimization we're trying to do with our finances, we're overlooking the elephant in the room, which is like, are you making as much money as you possibly can? Is there a way that you can get a certification or a new skill or take on more responsibility, ask for a promotion, do something to generate more income? Because if you make another $20,000 this year and you invest all $20,000, that's going to make a tremendous impact on your overall net worth, your retirability, your financial freedom, all that stuff is going to be accelerated because of that. And if getting your money under control, if growing your net worth, if paying off your debt is part of the core things that really matter to you, then that's where your energy should be focused. I was falling victim to this too. I'm here to be completely transparent with you and talk to you about this kind of stuff because that's my goal, that we learn together, we sharpen the axe together. I've had sort of a video, vlog, documentary written here for a while to talk about how I felt like I couldn't stop spending money. I was justifying all kinds of purchases like needing a new camera to make YouTube videos or to take real estate photos or something else. Oh, then this new lens comes out. I need this new lens to take better family photos and it's sharper and so my videos will look better and people will watch more of them and eventually it'll be worthwhile. I need 3 different microphones here sitting in front of me just in case so I never lose any audio. I need 45 different kinds of adapters to do different things with the computer and accept different hard drives and SD cards and all this jazz. And it just felt like there wasn't a single week over the last 3 years or so where I wasn't getting a package in the mail. Granted, that stopped more recently because I quit my full-time job and now I make a lot less income. But I felt like the problem was bad enough that I had planned to make a video about it. And it was going to be called I Can't Stop Spending Money. And it was going to go over this kind of like weird subconscious desire that I had to just accumulate more stuff. Tech, tools, clothes, whatever it was. I felt like I needed to be accumulating and preparing and storing all this stuff so I could handle anything, when in the end, our stuff doesn't help us to handle anything. Our stuff clutters up our house and our rooms, and the more disciplined action of me figuring out myself, doing that deep work with a counselor or deep work in private and meditation and prayer, and to go, what is it in me that thinks that I can solve this deeper problem with such a simple solution as buying stuff? That would have been a much more impactful kind of action that I took. So this video is taking a weirdly deep, ethereal, touchy-feely kind of turn from an investing brokerage service kind of discussion all the way down to like, maybe we should talk about counseling instead of spending so much money. And I guess the TLDR version of this video is, don't waste so much time worrying about the details of your investing life if you're overlooking the bigger picture. If you're waiting to invest, try and figure out why. Will you ever invest? Are you just so uncomfortable with the concept that you're not going to do it? Or if you are going to invest, what are you waiting on? Figure out what that is, diagnose it, and take some action one way or the other. For now, it's time to hang up the axe. It's still very sharp. I haven't used it in a long time, so I don't need to sharpen it. But proverbially, we'll continue to sharpen our axes together tomorrow. Here's another video you can watch in the meantime, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh, also the secret comment word for today is dongle. It's a funny word, and I got a lot of dongles laying around here.